Well, good morning and welcome to Corona Fits. So, this beautiful day, and well, it's a little cloudy here in Blackstone, the center of the world, but then you too are at the center of the world. So the title of today's talk is Corona Mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is a practice of meditation in Buddhism. Buddha established the foundations for mindfulness in the Patipatthana Sutra, where he laid out the conditions to create mindfulness. And ironically, Corona is creating the need for mindfulness. Mindfulness basically is being awake and aware of what your mind and your body are doing, without judgment, without fault-finding, without thought, because you want to be aware of thought. So mindfulness kind of like is backing away from our absorption, our unconsciousness. So we're basically living in an unconscious, we all are basically unconscious. I know I am. We're unconscious of what we're doing. Are you conscious when you stick your hand up to your mouth, touch your mouth all the time? Are you conscious when you sneeze into your hands and then wipe part of your house and somebody else comes by and wipes that? Are you conscious of where you sit and what you touch and how you are communicating with people? Are we conscious? We're not conscious of that. And that's why the virus spreads, you see. We're basically not conscious of what our body and our minds are doing. But mindfulness is learning how to sit on I use the playground analogy of the teeter-totter, and the kids playing on the teeter-totter, and you're sitting on the park bench watching them. Well, the park bench viewpoint is mindfulness. You're not judging them. Oh, you didn't do that right. You see, you're not judging. You're not identifying with my kid's up, he's down, my kid's up. You see, oh no, my kid's down, oh no. See, that's not park bench. Park bench is just observing the kids playing on the teeter-totter without judging or comparing. That teeter-totter is not as good as that teeter-totter. You see, all that is the comparing mind, all the judging mind, the value mind. You're not wishing you were somewhere else. Oh my God, I'm trapped here in the park having to babysit the kids. No, that's teeter-totter mind. So park bench mind is just aware as the park, the teeter-totter. You're kind of like and awake. Oh, you're watching because you don't want the kids to fall off, but you're not concerned. You're engaged absence. You're engaged awareness, but you're not involved in what you were aware of. With the teeter-totter mind, which is it's up, it's down, it's good, it's bad, it should be that, it's not good enough, it should be better. All that's teeter-totter. So anyway, I digress. The point is in Corona mindfulness is that now, if you can't get to Zen and mindfulness and meditation, well, Zen will come to you. Corona is making us mindful. So what I'm going to do in my house, we live here in Blackstone, and there are 4 people here, my wife and I, my daughter, and a friend who's staying here. And so Blackstone does not have any known cases of Corona, but you do have to go out into the world and come back. And so we're kind of going to make the house a bastion of mindfulness, so that if we go out, we're going to have outside shoes and inside shoes, or no shoes. But anyway, if we go out into the world and we come back, we're going to change our clothes, change our shoes, and we're going to get the house all clean and just so we know the house is clean. So if one of us goes out into the world, it comes back, we kind of like have a decontamination process when they come back in, so the virus doesn't come in inadvertently and cling to something, because apparently this virus is pretty sticky. You can go out there and sit in some chair somebody sat in, and then come back and it's on your clothes. And it stays on the clothes, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5, 9, I don't know how many days. But the point is, you don't know. And so we don't, and also in the house, I'm not very clean. Oh, sneeze, and then you just wipe your hands on everything, So we're just going to become mindful now. So just being mindful of what the body and mind, and then there's the mindfulness of the mind. What are my thoughts now? Am I mindful that I'm getting fearful? That I'm thinking, oh my God, that I'm becoming paranoid. Oh my God, the virus could be anywhere. I'm going to die. You see, in other words, that is the teeter-totter. That is the teeter-totter going faster of the mind. The teeter-totter of the mind is when it's always oscillating between, oh my God, I'm going to die, oh that's okay, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, okay. And so it starts going faster and faster until you get a panic attack. You see. So being mindful of the mind then. So the practice of Corona mindfulness is to make your house clean, be secure in it, and then when people come, if somebody comes to your house, notice what they're doing. Disinfect the doorknob when they leave. Notice, and until everybody's aware now. So you give the Corona handshake, which is 6 feet apart. Oh, yeah, hi. Everybody's practicing this, but we need to be reminded. We need to become mindful, because the body habits. Oh, you're somebody comes. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Too late. You see. So, and then the next thing is, and the more I read about this and the information, is that the virus will stay in the nose and throat for a few days before it gets to the lungs, where it really wants to get. That's where it fills up the lungs with mucus, you see. That's why this respiratory means it kind of like gives you it makes the lungs stop because it fills up with mucus, you see. So, but there's a few days before it gets there. So when you go out, drink hot tea, hot liquids, wash the virus down to the stomach so it can't get to the lungs, and the acids kill it, you see. So there's a process there when you go out, drink some hot tea, not to mention washing your hands. So keeping the hot liquids, washing, keeping the throat liquid and not so that it washes the virus down. So there's a lot of different mindfulness practices. So it's almost like we're all becoming germaphobes, or we're all becoming Sheldon Cooper, who was a germaphobe, you see. So, but basically being a germaphobe is not being afraid of germs. It's just being mindful. Mindfulness is not being afraid. Mindfulness means I'm aware of my thoughts, my fear, and I'm not that, you see. When you're mindful of something, you're not what you're mindful of. When you're sitting on the park bench or watching the teeter-totter, you're not the teeter-totter. Unless you get, well, you're not doing it right, Johnny. Make him go down. Make him, you're on the teeter-totter. But if you watch the teeter-totter, you're watching life as it were a play. You're watching life as a play from mindfulness. You're watching it, but you're not investing in anything. And yet at the same time, you're on the teeter-totter. At the same time, we're dealing with virus and we're dealing with life and its ups and downs and good and bad and all of that. But at the same time, the practice is while you're on the teeter-totter, you're also off the teeter-totter. While you're involved in the playground of life, doing what you need to do, being good, whatever you need to do, you do what's necessary. You do what's necessary. But at the same time, There's a background awareness from the park bench, which is okay. No matter what happens when you're on the, no matter what happens on the teeter-totter, whether you're up or down, up or down, up or down, you're okay while on your teeter. So the practice of mindfulness means that you're okay, even in corona. But you want to be mindful of what you're doing. You want to be safe. You want to have correct action. But now we use corona as making me, as a Zen practice. Corona will make me more mindful of what my body's doing and more mindful of what my thinking is doing, so that I don't get involved in the thinking vortex or teeter-totter. The thinking vortex or the thinking teeter-totter is, here is fear progressing to panic. Fear, I'm not doing it right, something's going to happen, oh my God. And then I'm afraid, and then I'm afraid, and then I'm afraid, and then I'm having a panic attack. The Hall of Mirrors. It's the mic and the amplifier. Whoa, 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 turn it off. It's a nuclear reaction. So mindfulness, calmness, clarity, being okay in change, you see. This practice of mindfulness gives you a stability in the time of change, which is what you're in now, rapid change. Watch it change daily, you see, change happening rapidly. Oh my God, you see. So we need to practice stability in change. And this is Zen. This is Buddhism. Life is change. How can you keep from being swept away in it? Well, you practice mindfulness. You find that park bench inside, and you watch the change as you would be watching kids in a playground. It's okay, but at the same time, you're in the playground. You're on the teeter-totter. You're doing what's right and correct, you see. This is a practice. But it begins with the simple things, like, what did I just do with the sneeze in my nose? Where did I put that mucus? You know, where am I, when I go out, what am I touching? Where am I sitting? Am I standing too close? What am I, I'm just being mindful. It's not like, oh my God, I've caught it. No, I'm just being mindful. And then that moves us to mindful of the mind, mindful of thinking. Mindful of thinking, thought, mindful of the body first, then mindful of thinking. It progresses. So practice Corona mindfulness. It's a blessing. You know, you're all Zen Buddhists now. Thanks for dropping in.